Do 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 do. I bought a toothbrush, some toothpaste, a flannel for my face, pajamas, a hairbrush, new shoes in a case. I said to my reflection, let's get out of this place. Past the church and the steeple, the laundry on the hill, billboards in the buildings, memories of it still keep calling and calling. But forget it all, I know I will. Tempted by the fruit of another, tempted but the truth is discovered. What's been going on? Now that you have gone, there's no other. Tempted by the fruit of another. Tempted, but the truth is discovered. And guys, the truth is discovered. Good morning, fellow billionaires. This is Silver 5150 with your morning update for Tuesday, August 18th, 2020. That, of course, was a group Squeeze with Tempted, one of their biggest hits to date. And guys, the temptation is real. The temptation is real. People still believe in the dollar paradigm. They go out, they work for dollars. I go out, I work for dollars. I'm right in the middle of it. All right. But what needs to be understood is that the dollar is not actually money. It is currency, and not a very good currency at that. This is currency. Valcambis, grams, 1 gram increments. They're currency. They're just not favored currency in the dollar paradigm right now. But the time is coming. The time is coming. And I guess, I want to kind of just vamp on the incrementalism or the fractionality of your stack, like I was talking about yesterday. We'll just continue on that this morning. But I just wanted to let you know that I am not messing around. I have really, went as far as I could go with fractionality. You guys seen my dime videos and stuff. And the idea is just to build a stack, but diversify it. You want to build, the ounces, but you also want to build the transactions, the number of transactions you can make. All right. So this is not actual money. The dollar is not money. It is currency. Okay. And this is real money. Silver and gold is real money. Now, I find something fascinating about these Valcambi combi bars, which they actually have, their assay inside the case, okay? And it tells you what they've got there. 3 nines fine, total weight 100 grams, and then 100 times 1 grams. And it shows you how to break it apart and everything. So these right here were incepted, I think, back in 2010. 2010 or 11. Now, why would the Swiss feel the need to create something so incremental with silver? Because this is before the big silver jump in 2011, where they had, we went to $50 again, $50.50. Spot price was the close, I think, or maybe it was 48 or something like that, but it was pretty high up. And so what would inspire the Swiss and some other companies started doing commie bars later to create such small increments for silver if it was never going to amount to anything? If silver was never going to go to any real, high dollar valuations, what is the point in creating gram increments that you got to work to break apart? And then, you got to sit there and, unless you got the best eyesight in the world, you're not going to be able to tell what the heck they say. Let's see if I get a reflection out of there. Well, you can see that one right there. And it tells you everything that's on it. Even the assay is on every single square. And this is what I love about the Valcambi combi bars. Okay. So, like I said, I'm tempted by dollars. I work for dollars. I try to get as many dollars as I can, but there's only one reason for that. And the reason is because it allows me to get more of this. The more dollars I can earn, the manufacturers and the mentors and the assayers, they take the dollars so I can get more of the sharp and shiny. Okay, and this is why I'm tempted by the fruit of another, because it allows me to get the real currency and the real money I want. All right. So, moving right along. Sorry, I need to clear that up. Okay, we're good. But yeah, so seriously, like in the song, they say, look at your reflection and just say, let's get out of this place. Have you ever been there? I mean, I think we've all been there. We've all been someplace and you're thinking to yourself, man, I do need to get out of this place. It ain't good for me. There's got to be someplace better. And I just need to resolve to make that change. And that was me growing up in the United States when I was younger. I was either always in the ghetto or out in the sticks, like on a farm somewhere. And so I got to spend, the best of both worlds in the country and in the city, but not the best parts of them. And it wasn't bad. I mean, I didn't realize how bad it was. And in fact, I didn't even think it was a problem until, I became a teenager, right? I'm sitting there, I'm watching TV, and all of a sudden, I watch an episode of Knight Rider, the credits roll, and I think to myself, you know what? I can do better. I mean, I'm not going to be Michael Knight, but I can do better than this. I got to do better. So I resolved right then and there, I think it was 13 or 14, to break the chain of poverty that had plagued my family for so many generations. And we can go into the semantics of, how generational wealth is gained or lost, okay? But just suffice it to say, there was none in our family. All right, we had some second cousins that were doing pretty well, but as far as our bloodline, we were not doing very well. We lived a life of debt, in bad debt at that, and was in and out of the social safety net too, as Pop got sick. Anyway, back on the message here. I did decide that I was going to go ahead and break out of that and then break that chain, break that cycle of poverty. So you could say that I was interested in wealth, or better yet, generational wealth, better yet, wealth cycles, okay, from a much earlier age than, say, just a few years ago when I discovered the sleeping silver dragon. I was saying it, silver dragon. That's like saying the Kraken. You just can't say the Kraken. You got to sound like Optimus Prime. But yeah, the sleeping silver dragon, that had been, around forever and ever. And it's funny, having used many pre-1964 coins at a very young age, little did I know that I actually had the answer already in my hands and in my possession at that time. The way we're always talking about, have physical metal in your possession at all times. And that way you can survive any kind of hyperinflation or whatever kind of economic malaise is coming up. All right. But of course, it wouldn't be until much later, like, 7 years ago, when I'd actively seek to use silver as the ultimate catapult to my financial freedom. This is it. This is it, man. This is an atomic catapult. Silver is. And you guys can see it in the markets today. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm telling you right now, it is going to be a relentless grind to valuations that are going to make your nose bleed. It's coming. It's coming. Now, I like to think at this point, as stackers, we can all see the limitless wealth and purchasing power that silver is going to afford us to enrich our lives with. Okay? It's coming. Now, guys, I believe the amount of wealth that's going to be at our fingertips, all this silver wealth that's going to be at our fingertips, all right, is going to be so vast that it's going to take everyone in the community's imagination and effort just to make sure it gets utilized properly. And what I mean by that is just, we're going to look out for each other to make sure we're not wasting it on things we don't need to waste it on, and you make recommendations or say, hey, well, you're going to buy this, but buy this instead. You're going to save a lot more ounces or grams, and it's a better quality product, like we always do. It's just nothing new. All right, this is what we do for each other. Now, this, of course, goes back to what I said yesterday about us training our shopping skills currently on other assets to make sure that we can get the most for our silver money. Silver money. That's right. Silver money. The catapult. Throw it with the catapult. Sorry. Look, so the thing is, I know I go on about, we're going to do this and we need to do that and we this and we that. And even though silver is a very private investment and it's very individualistic, especially when you look at the different stacks and stuff out there. But the thing is it's actually going to be fun. Like it's been fun shopping for stuff. It's going to be fun for us as a community to try to ferret out, some crazy finds here and there, whatever special interest you have, whatever special items you're trying to get a hold of, whether you're trying to go after properties, whether you're trying to go after small businesses, whether you're trying to go after blue chip stocks, it doesn't matter. Energy, energy innovation, startup companies, this sort of thing. Or maybe just recreation. Like I always imagine, a phone call. It's like, hey, Silver Game of Thrones, Silver 5150 here. Are they still selling those old nuclear missile bunkers where you guys are at? And for an ATB still? Could you imagine? It's like, well, if you have an ATB, you can buy, specialized land in the United States. That's why they minted the ATB in my imagination. Silver 5150's imagination says, well, he meant the ATB, so if you have like a Yosemite coin, you can, have a stake in Yosemite and maybe get like a quarter of an acre there, when they start. Look, Greece did it back in 2010 and 11. When they defaulted on their debt, Greece had to start selling off their public works and their surrounding properties, the islands and stuff that were around that country, to try to satisfy some of that debt. Now they end up selling them to the International Monetary Fund or the IMF or the Bank of International Settlements, which is the central bank for central banks. But they end up selling those very, much treasured assets to their country. And I think the United States is going to have to settle, on some level too, if they want people that have the silver to part with their silver because they're going to want to be able to get silver in their coffers to the government, and they're going to have something they exchange for it. If they don't turn completely draconian and controlling over us, I think we'll see a happy medium with that. All right, but yeah, I always think like hey, Silver Game of Thrones, are they still selling those old missile bunkers where you guys are at for an ATB? And oh yeah, for Hawaiian National Volcanic Park ATB. See, it's gonna be like a real specialized one, like no one has. And I was like, well, the only person I know that has one of those is Silver Joker. Good luck with that. Silver Joker is. Oh, wait a minute, what? Silver Joker did buy one. He uses Volcanic National Park ATB. You're kidding me. Jeez, that guy is always one step ahead of me. So look, anyway, did you want to meet in Oshkosh and do the Russian pilot challenge thingy in the MiG-25 Fox Bats? 3 ounces now? 3? I thought it was 2 ounces. How many people are signing up? How many daredevil stackers can there be? I thought that was my idea. Well, yeah, no, I'm still going to do it. I mean, I got to. It's a bucket list item. This silly conversations like that because, by that time you'll have everything in place for your families. You'll have everything in place for your friends. You'll be able to take your silver wealth with the help of the community to leverage it against things you really, really want. And, and have plenty left over, guys. I'm not saying you're going to be able to do it with 10 ounces, but 10 ounces will certainly, like I said, get you past the badness. And hopefully you've gone beyond that. And we'll talk later about building your stack, like I said, in number of transactions, okay, as well as number of ounces. I'm sure I've covered it before, but basically, what the message is going to be is you don't want to be that person that has, 500 ounces and they're all in ounce increments, or 500 ounces and it's 50 10-ounce bars, because it's a lot of silver. But you're going to have those people or those folks out there that have goods and services that we want. They're going to be like, oh, well, you only got a 10-ounce bar. Why? I can't make change. You're either going to have to buy more product, or I'm just going to have to take a premium off of you because I can't make change. So you don't want to be that person who's like, I got 500 ounces. Well, 550 10-ounce bars. No good. Not good. Break it up a little bit. A lot of stackers out there will tell you the same thing. I'm always pitching dimes and halves. I don't do quarters for some reason. Quarters are not my thing, because I figure like if there's anything you need to do smaller than a half, a dime can cover it. And if you have to discrepant between, if you have to disseminate between, half of a tenth or something like that to make change, that's a lot easier than saying giving somebody a whole ounce or a 10-ounce bar to make that change. The 10th ounces seem to do it for me. They cover everything from between a gram and half an ounce. I don't do quarter ounces, but quarter ounces are very helpful. So don't disregard those, especially if you can find them at a good price. But yeah, so it's all about the increments. It's all about the number of transactions, and of course about the number of ounces. I'm about to change the ounces on you guys, by the way, for the being ahead of the game, because we want to be completely ahead of the game, 100% ahead of the game. And I think now, if you look at the market action, it's telling us that we need to move a little faster. Okay, but I'll do that later. Okay. So anyway, yesterday I did touch on this notion about numerous transactions in your stack. Whether you have 10 ounces or 100 ounces or 1,000 ounces. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Start looking for the fractional stuff that's at a decent price, and decent price is usually anywhere from $8 to $15 over spot for fractional right now. Okay. If you can find better deals than that, consider it a good deal and pass it along if you can't take advantage of it. But we need to start looking at fractionals because our shopping habits are going to start to resemble more of those like that are shopping for gold than for silver, because silver is going to start heading into these price points that are going to really, really, kind of derail people's plans, to buying a whole ounce here or buying a roll here or there. So we're going to start to have to move to the fractionals to do that. So we'll continue on that in a minute, but let's real quick, let's just talk about the markets. All right. So right now, stocks are up about 0.25%. I mean, the Dow, S&P 500, the Nasdaq, and the Russell 2000 small caps are only up, anywhere from 1/5 to 1/4% up, which does not bode well for how they're going to finish today. However, if you look at the dollar is in a very dangerous place right now. Apparently, 92.50 is a critical resistance point for the dollar on the way up. And it is a good solid floor for the dollar on the way down. If that breaks today, if we get the euro, in the I think it's like 101.19 or the 1.20 range on the euro. That's going to take the dollar down to the lower 92 handle and possibly into a 91 handle going into the week. And that is going to be like the express elevator down for the dollar, which is very good for precious metals. So let's keep an eye on that. But, as a result, you think with the dollar down so far that stocks would be going a little higher and stuff, but they just seem weak. And I think it's because they're so overinflated right now. The dollars are so overinflated. And I'm sorry, the stocks are so overinflated that there's really not much more the Fed can do to pump, equities, okay, which are stocks. All right, and that gave me a little thought experiment. I'm like, okay, so they use billions of dollars or billions of paper ounces to suppress the price of silver and gold to an extent, but they use trillions of dollars to prop up the stock market and actually lift it. What if somehow, someday, some way, they managed to confuse the rhythms or mix them up, and then all of a sudden, all of the Fed money that was moving into stocks to keep the stock market propped up accidentally funneled, just for a day, into precious metals, and then the derivatives got poured into stocks, and you had that reversal. Oh my gosh! Even if it happened for like an hour, it would be like the biggest story ever in the history of finance. It'd just be funny as all get out. And that way, people could really see just how much manipulation is going on, between the two different asset classes. Too funny. Yeah, that would be pretty freaking awesome. Anyway, so that is stocks. We're going to talk about the thing we really care about right now, and that is metals. Okay, metals. All right. So, how about that action yesterday? Before we get started on the day, how about that action yesterday, huh? Was that something? Was that not something? And yes, we'd seen it before. And sure, one could look at it and say, well, yeah, metals were up, but they hardly moved once they got stuck in that $27.50 range. Well, this is true. And I remember a time when actually metals would consistently do the opposite. Back when the spot price was in the 13s and 14s, it would head down and stay down all damn week, which is good if you're purchasing, but man, I'd run out of cash sometimes. But anyway, so yeah, they would get down, way down low, in like the high 13s or the low 14s, and they would stay there all week with no action at all. Worse than market volatility is market inaction, unless it's heading steadily up. When you're flatlining, in a silver market and you're investing in the silver market, you're saving in the silver market, it's very disheartening to see it sit there at 14.50 for like 6 weeks straight and not make a move. So I like the volatility. I like what's happening now. I got used to silver being down, but now I'm getting used to it being up. And when it's up and it's steady like that across the board during the whole day, that's a sign of strength. That is a sign of strength. So don't get discouraged by that. All right. So the cartel, they did have quite a grip when they were keeping silver down. They don't have that much of a grip right now. Silver going up. And by the way, understand that there is huge manipulation going on right now. Even when you see the price of silver going up like this, you can see there's small pullbacks within the session, within the trading session, where they're trying to dump contracts in and get it to cool off, or maybe get it to head down, or find some sweet spot that's going to get it to start to head downward. But you're just basically seeing inside the trading session, silver especially, getting smacked down a little bit and then bouncing right back up in like the next 5 minutes. So keep watching that action today. Who knows where we're going to end up today? Oh my gosh. And you guys that are out there that have the APMEX portfolios, stop looking at them. No, I'm just kidding. I just looked at mine a little while ago. Look at it if you want to look at it, because you worked hard for it. All right, so, yeah, I have no problem watching these daily results. I hope we continue to do this nice, slow grind up. Now, I got to say, I do prefer this much better, the upward movement. And yes, while gold only tracked about 2% higher yesterday and silver tracked 6% higher yesterday, these are still the kind of consistencies we really love to see for our burgeoning silver bull market, for those of us in the silver market. Okay, most of us are. And we got to take the good with the bad, too. If we want to see that long-term bull run in gold and silver, we need to see these occasional pullbacks, whether they're in the intraday session or whether they're day-to-day or week-to-week, okay? And we'll gladly take advantage of the pullbacks. That's what we do. Now, in fact, let's see what metals are doing right now. And how about that? You guys can't see what I'm looking at right now because I'm trying to stay trained on the metals, but I'll get that working on later. But it looks like, metals are kicking arse and taking names again. Our favorite yellow metal, the big yellow metal, gold, is taking on the haters, and the LBMA, which is the London Bullion Market Association, taking these guys out to the woodshed, up some, it's probably 0.75% right now. So gold is up 0.75% right now at 2016, again over 2000 trading right now, and I think it's going to close higher than that. Still, even as good as gold's doing, silver is performing even better than that right now. Silver's even performing better than that, and it's steadily rocketing up comfortably at about 2.5% up. Actually, now 3% now. Okay, so right now we're at spot 2860, which is great, and that's a great place to be cruising along at 2860 and climbing for spot price for silver. For those of us that are looking at that side, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. Silver is being our cash cow. Silver's going to become our cash. This is cash, not good cash. This is money, but silver's actually going to become our cash cow that's going to pay us untold dividends for generations to come, that generational wealth again. All right, it is. Now, look at the time. Okay, I almost forgot to talk about these Valcamis. All right, versus the dollar. Okay, so I had a nice chat yesterday with subscriber Brodor on the importance of equivalent exchange. If you guys don't know what equivalent exchange is, that just means you're going to get fair value for fair value. Okay, doesn't matter what the asset is, and how sound money, sound currency, which is this, not this, okay, will always afford you fair value, while a depreciating currency like this over time won't. The dollar has lost about 95% of its purchasing power since 1913. You guys have heard that over and over and over, but it's true. All right. So these are the Valcambi combi bars, like I was talking about. These are full units with assay. Okay. Full units without assay, and many of you long-time subscribers here know the story behind that, why the assay is gone from these, and it's cringeworthy. But I might revisit it someday. But right now, I still have post-traumatic stress over it. All right. Then, of course, you have your favorite individual grams. Individual grams. And people ask, why so many Silver 5150? Why do you have so many? Because, my good peeps, I plan to use these individual grams, or even the cards, depending on what the contract calls for, to make payroll. And, for who? Right? I talked about contracts. For who? Who's going to be on the payroll? What payroll? You going to have a business? Well, it could either be a structured business model I plan to do, depending on how far we can get with this. Or it might just be local labor for hire gigs. Good folks from every walk of life at the time when the economic malaise is the worst, they're going to be looking for income. And I'm talking professionals, paraprofessionals, just regular folks. Good folks from every walk of life, they're going to be looking for income. Okay, we're talking doctors and educators, chefs, contractors, former law enforcement people, security, right? They'll maybe get them to do some security for you. Mechanics, IT guys, tailors, seamstresses, administrative assistants, veterinarians. A lot of these people are going to, be on my retainer. I plan to have the currency to be able to keep some of these people on my retainer. And it's just an effort I'm planning to take up to boost the local economy and help start the reboot in our new economies and stuff, depending on where I'm at. Now, so if we're supplanted where we're at because of COVID, then sure enough, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to support that economy by probably employing a handful of people to do things that I want done, and maybe, assist in other places too. But this is just a way to help them earn some income and, keep the money velocity moving in my community. All right. So now, if you think that the idea of me using these Valcambis as currency to pay people, payroll, if you think that sounds silly, okay, consider this. When, and I say when silver blows past $5,000 an ounce, I didn't say gold, I said when silver blows past $5,000 an ounce, one of these grams will be approaching $200 a piece in dollar terms, okay? Now, what can you get for it in, say, a semi-hyperinflationary economy? Well, I don't know, but I'm betting you can get a lot of food, a lot of materials, maybe some energy generation, okay? It's all in how we frame its value. See, we can't just have the cash. We just can't have the new money. We have to sell it. We have to frame it. It says, hey, you need this. This is what's going to work, and people are going to accept it, and it actually has this much, value in terms of purchasing power. You can exchange it for this and that and the other. We've done it, so we're going to have to be able to talk the walk that we've taken to get to where we're, declaring this the premier currency. All right. So, it's all how we frame it. We got to make sure we frame its value properly. All right. So, guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut out right now. I think I've covered everything we wanted to cover. Just make sure you start to work on the fractional part of your stack. It's easier financially on you, and it's something that really needs to be taken care of if you haven't addressed it. Ounces are good, but ounces need to be supported by smaller increments to make sure that they don't get wasted. And that's what you want to do. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not beyond getting in a scenario where I have a fellow stacker that needs, change for their ounce. And I might do 25 to 1. I'm probably going to do 20 to 1. So they're going to take a hit if they don't have any fractional. I'm going to help them out, give them 20 transactions for their 1, or possibly 25, depending on the mood I'm in. But it's going to cost them a premium to do that because I went through the trouble to get these, and so they're going to have to compensate me for my foresight. But I think a lot of good stackers out there already have this taken care of, and it won't be an issue. It'll be the people that are really late to the game that'll probably get taken advantage of, and even then, I won't try to take too much advantage of them. All right? Okay, so like I said, I'm out of time. I think silver is not only going to surpass gold easily once it begins to deplete and run out, because silver is going to be doing that, and this might be 5 years down the road. It could be 2 years down the road. We get to a supply crunch. We get to, no inventories or anything like that. I think that we're going to look back on gold and go, okay, that was interesting. And the more accurate value comparison is going to be more akin to gram for gram diamonds and other precious metals. That's right, I said that. I know. I'm Silver 5150 and I endorse this triggering message. I said that to trigger the out of a bunch of you because I know you're going to hit me in the comments going, Silver 5150, you're a total crackpot and you shouldn't even be allowed to tie your own shoes unsupervised, which may be true, by the way. But feel free to let me have it because I think that these Valcambys, gram for gram, they're going to be at one point valued equally against diamonds and other precious gems. That's how crazy it's going to get when people realize all the uses for silver and the need for silver, especially in our electronic lives, and how little there is. Again, I'll say it from way back. Wait till people find out that silver is not much less rare than rhodium, for example, which is pretty damn rare, okay? At about $10,000, $11,000 an ounce right now, okay? So anyway, yes, I may be a crackpot, but only time will tell, right? Okay, so I'm Silver 5150 telling you that your stack is not whack and that just 10 ounces to your name keeps you 99% ahead of the game. So please, as always, like, share, subscribe, and comment. But more importantly, stack. If you have two choices where you have to like, share, subscribe, comment, or stack, please stack instead. These grams will do right here. Just go after some of these grams and stuff. Find a good price on them. Get all you want first, and then make sure you tell everybody else about it. And get all these grams you want, but please stack. First things first, stack as much as you can right now, especially the fractionals, all right? So anyway, keep stacking, keep subscribing, and watching here for more cool giveaways. We got plenty coming up. And as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. All right, we'll catch you tomorrow. Later.